Hey everyone, it's me, Jenna. So today I want to talk about my story of coming out as transgender to my family and friends and, social media and all that stuff. So this one might be a little bit long, so just bear with me. I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting. You guys are great. So yeah, let's begin. Feeling like a girl trapped in a boy's body was my deepest, darkest secret. I tried everything I could to try and find peace and happiness living as the gender I was assigned at birth. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of these nagging feelings that I was living a lie. And the more I tried to deny it, the more obsessed my mind became. Until I was at a crossroads when it was honestly either transition or die. So the first person that I told was my outpatient counselor at the time. I felt like this was probably someone that I could discuss this with it being relatively safe. Someone who was basically a neutral party, So even telling her, I had like 3 panic attacks before I could get the words out. I was having a really hard time, and this was the first person that I openly said these things to, so it was very hard, and I didn't even really admit directly that I'm transgender at first. There was a trans girl in our group, and I was having an individual session with the counselor, and I said, "You know the trans girl in the group? Well, I'm like her," and I had to then obviously explain what I meant. So, yeah. But, something strange happened once I started talking about it. It became real. And although it was very scary, at the same time, it was just so, liberating. And I instantly felt this, weight lift away from me. So then shortly after that, I decided I was going to tell my best friend at the time, my friend Drew. And, he noticed that over the weeks prior to this, that I was growing more and more depressed and just miserable. And he would try to ask me what was wrong, and of course I refused to say what was really going on. So it was noticeable that something was seriously wrong. And when I discussed this with the outpatient counselor, it wasn't long after that I felt the need to go further and start telling my friends. And so he was the first person I told that was actually close to me. And I remember picking him up in my car, and we were driving around, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta tell you something, how I've been off for a while now, something's really been bugging me." And he thought I was gonna tell him that I murdered somebody or something. So when I told him I'm struggling with my gender identity and I think I'm going to change my gender, he was almost relieved. His reaction was sort of relieved, and he was like, "Oh, that's it?" He's like, "I thought you did something serious." I'm like, "Okay," but he he told me that he would be my friend no matter what, and he showed me support, and it really meant a lot to me. So overall, that was a positive experience. Next up, we both of us went, and I wanted to tell another close friend of mine, a girl named Kelsey. And she helped me out tremendously. Like, she is such like a role model to me. Like, she is seriously like my hero. You know, like, just like being around her, she was such a good friend, and her energy and the vibes she gives off, it's like hard to explain, but she's just like, she's just fun to be around. Like, she's just a really great person. And during this time, like when I first came out to my friends and stuff, like there were times when it would really hit me that like, wow, I'm actually about to do this. I'm actually about to start transitioning, and it was exciting, but there were times when like out of nowhere I would just start breaking down and just start crying. So it was rough. When I decided I was ready to come out to my mother, I brought Kelsey with me for support. I don't think my mom really took it too seriously. I think she thought it was like a phase or something, and you know, she advised me not to make any permanent changes. When I started explaining hormones and surgeries, she was very, I could tell that these concepts scared her. You know, so she just didn't understand. And I asked her why she never picked up on like clues or red flags that this was that I was like this, and she didn't really give me an answer, so I didn't push too hard on it. But as I've said in my other videos, like I used to dress up like a girl in private, like when this was still such a huge secret, and like my family would like find like feminine clothing like in my closets and shit, and they wouldn't really confront me on it. You know, they would just like ignore it and act like it didn't happen. Yeah. So I let my mom fill in my little brother and sister because I didn't really have that close of a relationship with them to begin with. So I just let them know. Coming out to my father. A few weeks later, I told my dad and his new family, because he remarried and had another kid with this other woman, and so I ended up with a stepmom and a stepsister and half-sister. So I was terrified that I was going to get kicked out, that he was just going to completely reject me and I was going to lose everything. And that didn't happen right away. It did happen eventually, but it didn't happen right away. At first, he, like, kind of laughed at me. Like, he was just like, oh, now this? Like, alright, it's always something with you, so, whatever. You know, but he acted like he was fine with it. He even helped me out in the beginning, when I was concerned about maybe one day wanting my own biological children. I wanted to go to like a sperm bank and get that shit frozen, and he helped me pay for that. So that was pretty cool. My half-sister and my stepsister were great. They're really funny. My half-sister is 3 and my stepsister is 6. And they were just like, I don't really think they understood what was going on, but they just went with it. Like, it took maybe like 2 or 3 days, and it was just like normal to them. And when they learned that I changed my name, they wanted to change theirs too. Sophie, my half sister, wanted to change her name to Paw Patrol, and Sam, my stepsister, wanted to change her name to JoJo Siwa. So they're hilarious. They adjusted to this faster than anyone else, and it really blows my mind how some extremely young children are just so adaptable to things that most of society refuses to accept and doesn't understand. So it's really amazing to see this. My paternal grandparents, my father's parents, were the last to find out. To be honest, I don't know if my grandma ever found out. I was too scared to tell them. I lived with them, but once I started living and presenting as a female, I hid from them. I was almost positive that they were gonna reject me and everything, and yeah. So my grandma passed away before I could tell her. But the whole she just she just genuinely wanted me to have a good life. And I think that regardless of what I decide to do with my life, as long as I'm happy, I think she would be happy. My grandpa found out after seeing me leave the house in a dress one time, and he was not a happy camper. He said many mean things on a daily basis, and it was really hard because my grandfather almost my whole life was like my number one supporter. Like, he just was always there to help me out, and to just it's really messed up that he stuck with me through years of my drug addiction, and it's messed up to me how you have my back all these years that I'm a insane heroin addict, but when I want to live my truth and start transitioning, now that's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, it's just messed up to me. So I came out publicly on social media around this time, and most people were supportive, and there was like this outpouring of just like love and support and acceptance, which like honestly surprised me. Some of my male friends did not understand and would say things like, "Oh, you were never like this growing up. Like, this ain't you. You're making a mistake." And to this day, some of my close friends still don't get it. They still misgender me and dead name me or call me by my old name. And honestly, this kind of just shows like both a lack of effort and a lack of acceptance on their part. But I mean, I can kind of like, if I want to play devil's advocate, like I can kind of see how it might be hard for them, because it took me 27 years to come to terms with who I really am, enough to even begin the conversation. You know what I mean? So like, even though I've known this from like 5 or 6 years old that I was different, so it's taken a long time for me to accept myself. So, I don't blame them for needing some time to adjust. I try to just let it slide for the most part. But there will come a time when, like, all right, you've had your time to adjust. I'm doing this and I'm not going back. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, either you're going to respect me or just peace. Once I took the first step and began talking about this, like I said, a weight was lifted, and I just felt compelled to keep talking about it and just tell more and more people, and it's just really amazing. And as the doors closed on my old life, beautiful new doors opened up to me, and allowing my true self to come to the surface brought me into such a whole new world, which was both terrifying yet extremely liberating. Probably one of the most liberating experiences of my entire life. And to those of you who are still struggling and who might be in the closet, so to say, I feel your pain. I understand the fear that keeps you trapped. And you really don't have to live like that. The first time you reveal your truth, yes, it is so, so hard, and it takes so much courage. I thought that I could get through making a video without having to stop and film different clips, and I thought I managed to record all the way through this time. But there were technical difficulties, and the fucking thing just decided to freeze out of nowhere. So as I was saying, once you get past, the initial reveal, it gets easier and easier, and you become more and more free. I was prepared to take this secret to the grave, but once I came clean and let it out, this phenomena occurred, which compelled me to just keep talking about it, and just more and more, to the point that now I'm making these videos, and I just want to tell the world, because who knows who I might be able to help. So, that's that. Let's hope that this clip recorded right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.